being like,
Uh-huh.
oh, you should totally evict this one guy, or
Oh, you
these
should
people.
totally evict this one guy. Okay, right. Yes, we're evicting
But
people. Why are we
and
landlords?
Big Brother,
So Big Brother is a landlord?
yes.
Oh my god.
And then, but everyone wised up to it and was like, we should evict him. And then I think he got evicted. So he was trying to like think he was
And
smarter
then the
than everyone
Daleks
else.
shot him with lasers and he died.
Yeah. Well, every time I watch Big Brother, I just think about that.
Yeah,
like,
because I'm like, wow, Doctor Who really did that, huh? They just like, hey, you die now!
It's scary.
It's scary. Now, I have to unmute the game. Is that a little loud?
For me, it sounds fine.
Okay.
But maybe it's a little, I can turn it down on my end.
Yeah.
Game chat will tell if they
if people show up to watch me build a grandpa. We're playing Growing My Grandpa, a game by James. That's James with a Y. I saw SGF play this for about an hour, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, and then I didn't watch the rest of his Let's Play, and I decided I was going to play it instead. So that's what we're doing.
Interessant.
Would you like to view the tutorial? Yeah, dog.
Sure.
Please read. This game is designed to be played with a mouse. The input required of you is based around clicking the mouse buttons. The right mouse button will change the cursor's image and function. Only when pointing, indicated by the extended index finger, can you, the player, interact with certain menu buttons and prompts. Please click below in the pointing mode to continue. Make hang go. Oh my god, I can... You think I can, like, grab a boob with this?
Maybe.
Then I can point. The second cursor mode is indicated by the cursor's image featuring a hand extending all fingers. This mode concerns interacting with objects inside the world, mainly picking up an object and moving it to another position. To continue, please pick up the piece of trash on the right and place it in the trash can on the left. Remember, the right mouse button will change the cursor's mode, but when holding something, the mode cannot be changed until the cursor is not holding something.
Okay.
This is written for, like, idiots.
Because gamers don't know how to read. They get tutorial and they're like, I skip, and then they complain about game being hard or not understanding game.
That's it. There will be many situations in Growing My Grandpa that will require you to pick things up, place things, grab things, or give things. Don't be afraid to experiment and keep an open mind about using your hand. Right. Please click the button below to continue. Yeah. In order to expedite the cleaning process, you can use the digits 1, 2, and 3 on your keyboard's number row at the top of the keyboard to reposition the trash can below. Try moving the can to the right of the screen. Wow. You can make a sick beat out of this.
Yeah, like drums.
This is breakcore, right?
I'm not the one to ask.
I'll send a clip of this to Nemesis and be like, "This is breakcore, right?" And then then he'll get mad at me.
I'm more like, say no, it's not breakcore. It's trash can core.
That's right. It's trash core. I'm gonna pioneer the trash core movement if it's not already a thing. If it is, it's probably already a thing. I'm sorry for trying to co-opt your movement. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. A variety of video options can be changed at any time through the use of the function keys F3, F4, and F5. Press F3 to adjust or disable shader effects. Okay. Shader turned off. Wow. Nah. We'll keep it as it is. A little text wiggle, not too much. Press F4 to cycle through display resolution options. All the display resolutions for this game are very tiny. Here,
Yeah,
let's see if I could show stream.
I think this
is what game. This is. Please look on stream.
Okay.
This is the smallest option.
A game for ants.
This is the option it defaults to.
Oh, so small. So cute.
Oh, so cute. And then I throw it down a well. Press F5 to change cursor types. There are 3 cursor color schemes available with 3 left-handed variants. Hi, Theed. Thank you. I'm reading a tutorial.
I'm glad this is left-handed accessible.
It's left-handed inclusive.
Because so many gaming companies are discriminatory towards the people with the disability of left-handedness. And I just can't stand for it anymore.
Like Mom.
Yeah. She's left-handed and can't play most video games.
Configuration options overlay. We hover over here. Ba-ba-da. It tells you what buttons to press to rotate through the several options we have. Hovering over the small question mark, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Thus ends the tutorial. I hope you enjoy growing my grandpa. Infinite thanks to my patrons and supporters for believing in me and my work. Yames. Week 1! I excused Adrienne during music class today and spoke with her about her recent string of demerits. It was our first time meeting outside of our quarterly evaluations, and I believe it went well. I can certainly understand Mrs. Richardson's classroom's observation concerning Adrienne's emotional state. She was, of course, intensely shy when we first met. As I understand it, she is similarly withdrawn in her classroom activities and only speaks or acts when she absolutely must. Something she simply will not do. Instead of participating in mandatory group activities, she will sit alone and accept that she will receive a demerit. Wow.
Awesome. Me too, girl. Me too.
Wow, girly. Try not to just immediately call me out as a child. My child self can't take it.
I'd rather sit in silence than do group activity.
Before the meeting, I read Miss Richardson's parent-teacher report, which allowed me to estimate some about Adrienne's home life. The parents are well-educated and come from a prestigious background, but they lack time to properly nurture Adrienne. She is often alone, and when she is not, the parents seem to not understand the importance of warmth and affirmation when dealing with someone so young.
Warmth.
Having 2 parents of this reserved and icy temperament exacts an inhibition in a child. The child's imagination is subdued, but only ostensibly, for it eventually finds a way into regular life. I surmised that I would be able to reach out to Adrienne by way of make-believe. You're a real fucked up looking kid, ain't you? Sorry, that's mean to say. That's mean to say to a child. That's normal for children?
Not real. That's a normal child. Completely normal human child.
How are you liking your new house? You've told me you used to live close by, but it could still be a big adjustment. A new room, a new school. The basement. I like that. The basement? Do you want to be Adrienne?
I can try.
Okay.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of cool stuff there. Mom and Dad sent me down there.
Your mom and dad made you go?
Yeah, but there's a lot of cool stuff. Well, that's not why they sent me down there, though.
Why did they send you down there?
Fighting. They were fighting. Shouting. I came in to help and they shouted at me. They said go clean downstairs, so I went.
That sounds tough. Do they fight a lot?
No, well, they,
It's alright, Adrienne. Maybe you can tell me more about the basement instead.
Okay. She's Canadian.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. This takes place in Canada.
Okay. Well, it was weird. It's weird at first, the stuff down there. But cool. I found something living, sort of.
That's very interesting, Adrienne. Please tell me more. By indulging her in her fantasies and stories, I was able to glean more of an understanding of Adrienne's anxiety surrounding her home and parents. The symbols of Adrienne's stories seem to carry their own traumatic weight, and her exploration of the basement may very well be a vehicle for the conveyance of her anxiety. Whatever might come of our next meeting, whether she will engage in similar make-believe, I will set down her story here. Adrienne's story begins with her delving into the basement with a trash receptacle and the goal of cleaning up. She discovered one of the walls was covered in plastic bags. She went to investigate, intent on tearing away whatever they covered.
Trash bags.
Oh. Upon removing the plastic trash bags from the wall, she noticed their interior lining was covered in glass. Like a window, I offered. No, she said, like a mirror. Reflecting inward towards the animal they covered. I gently asked her what exactly this animal was. Here is where the material reality of the story took a turn for the explicitly fantastic and imaginary. Upon her discovery of it, at her gaze, it grew or extended, its shaggy haired self. Hair like the fur of a dog, I offered. No, she said. Not the fur of a dog, nor the hair on her head. It grew out towards her, the animal's hair, reaching out. It was hard, standing almost straight, like the hair on a brush. A bristle, I offered. Yes, she said. She was very afraid at first, but then very curious. I asked her what else was in the room. More things, hidden away, she said. Things of Grandpa's as well. First, she found a hidden passage under the stairs. Inside were strange dolls, magic objects, naked, faceless figurines. Heard these cryptic utterances and merely nodded. In order to keep the game of make-believe going, I only pressed for details where I thought necessary. Faceless dolls could be a simple metaphor for the anonymity she feels in her own home. The hidden passage, I am unsure of what to make of that. The revealing of the concealed seemed to be thematic in her fantasy. The door under the stairs, but as one example.
Can you pet it?
Good dog.
Good doggy.
You cannot explore here. Okay, so we can't go there. Trash pile.
And spooky hole room is of course a metaphor. Kids be saying metaphors all day long.
I guess I can't mess with this stuff yet.
Kids read The Great Gatsby and start talking about the goddamn green light.
What am I supposed to do here?
They start talking about the gay subtext of Great Gatsby.
I don't want to talk about the gay subtext of Great Gatsby.
Fine.
Like, is it really subtext?
I think it's just main text. The subtext is quickly.
Am I doing something wrong here?
I would not have. Gatsby being gay on main. Does he have a
Does
Instagram?
Gatsby have a Tumblr? I don't know.
You probably get called out.
I can't wasad my way around. I only have the point and clicks and my break core.
We are at the mercy of point and click adventure.
For some fucking reason, my ex was so fucking into The Great Gatsby. She made me watch the movie with her.
Oh, the movie's not good.
The new one.
That's a 2013 one. I haven't seen any of the actual movies about it. But they're like, yeah, let's take this movie set during 1920s, and not put any jazz music in it, and instead put dubstep.
I removed things. I figured it out. Go team.
It was a aggressively 2013, that movie. Bad.
And bad.
I hated the way it was edited. Great Gatsby is just a metaphor for how American Dream can't work because it dies in a pool.
Yeah. Anyway, once she removed the panel and found the magical hidden passage, she was very specific about what she took. She found a magic book, a magic doll, a photo of her late grandpa, and magic glue. Take doll. A slouching doll. Its material is rough and coarse.
Hey.
Search closet. Oh, trash. Glue. All-purpose glue. Eurasian steppe shamanism and the fusiform gyrus, an interdisciplinary study in sympathetic magic. A dissertation.
It sounds like a dance routine to me. Eurasian steppe and shamanism and
Eurasian steppe and fusiform gyrus. Eurasian steppe sounds like a type of music, though.
Yeah.
Let's read this whole ass dissertation. The impetus of this research was the recognition of a particular pattern in fragments of documents relating to magic and magico-religious practices. Numerous sources were drawn from commentaries on laws relating to the banning of sorcery and necromancy, compilations of folk charms relating to love spells, hagiographs of saints and their encounters with devils. The list spans many centuries and a great distance, from the Levant to the Khazar Khaganate to the border of the modern nation-states of Russia and Kazakhstan today. From this paper trail arose a consistent account about a certain form of magic relating to the binding of demons to a sorcerer's will. A demon called the Heaven of Needles, or the Angel of Needles, was known to be kept best by shamanistic keepers or wards who suffer from face blindness,
Prospanagia. Nagia.
That's a
like
that's Nosia. Nosia.
Prospanagia.
Okay.
Prospanogasia.
Did you know that that's a plot point in 999? We're gonna have to play through 999 at some point.
It's inferred. Some people have guessed or like headcanon that Javert from Les Miserables has that because he couldn't quite figure out that Jean Valjean is Jean Valjean until he saw his muscles.
Wow.
Yay.
Oh, right.
Yay.
First is a thing. Hi, War. Did I say hi to Theed? Hi, Theed.
I said hi to Theed, but you can say hi to Theed.
Hi, Theed.
We love saying hi to Theed.
Whether by birth or through developmental causes like a stroke or head injury. It was known to be extremely effective, but terribly dangerous, so much so that it became outlawed several times and was generally a popular scapegoat relating to unexpected death. This nexus of magico-religious meaning-making, sorcery regarding human-related desires, and the history and science of the neurological disorders related to the fusiform gyrus is where the subject of this dissertation will reside. I'll outline further and then analyze the historical sources I mentioned previously, and then I will go into the neurology of mystic and magico-religious experiences. After that, I will detail my ongoing correspondence with a resident of the Ural Mountain region who is an expert folklorist and keeper of traditions he claims to have been passed down through his extended family for generations. All right.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to be reading a lot tonight. But I knew that going in.
You guys like podcasts?
All clean. This space will not be dirty again until next week. Striker,
Children.
what pride flag were you trying to get? I wasn't paying attention to the screen.
Maybe perhaps all of them. Bye. Okay.
Thank you. They're not like weighted or anything. It's random. Bye.
They don't.
Okay, hold on. I have to scroll up. I can't see. Oh, right. First is a thing. I've been greeted in quadricate. What does that mean? Boo, you dumb gay.
allow
add
boo,
permitted term. You dumb
you
gay.
dumb gay.
I have to lean back to laugh so I don't blast out my microphone. Because now I have a chair that when I lean back, it doesn't feel like I'm going to like immediately eat shit.
And die.
This one, it leans back and I feel, I'm pretty comfortable kind of like leaning back. I don't feel like I'm gonna eat shit and die. It's really great. A photo of your late grandfather.
Hey, it's Grandpa Rules.
On the reverse side of the photograph, there's more text. Good luck on your trip to the Urals. Stay warm. I interrupted to ask what she did with these magical, mysterious materials. Grow Grandpa, she explained plainly, and then without missing a beat, she continued on with her story.
Okay.
Feeling this was a potent symbol, I stopped her again to ask what she meant. Somewhat puzzled, I did not understand immediately. She explained slowly. Grandpa lives in the cage in the other room, the cage behind the door. They grew people in the cage.
Hey. Yeah.
Can I even clean up that? No. I love how you're like, cages. Yeah, okay.
The cage of Grandpa.
I guess
keep
we'll
Grandpa
read...
in cage and we feed him dog food.
A note on an experiment. What?
Normal things for a child to say.
For the sake of university policy and for the health of any future career you hope to have, you will abide by the non-disclosure contract you have signed. 2. Do not break the anthropoidic vacuum without my prior consultation and approval. 3. Any anthropoidic forms brought to the enclosure area must not be left unattended. When not in dormancy, the sample will attempt to take anthropoid shells. Please see shell notes for more on that. 4. The sample's exposure to some of our own neuronal activity is unavoidable. However, the speed at which its desirous yield is produced can be dampened by several precautions regarding libidinal and emotional urges. Keep conversation not related to lab work to a minimum. If you begin to suspect you are developing attachments to your colleagues, contact me as soon as possible. You aren't allowed to have friends here.
Rule number 1, no friends. Rule number 2, you cannot fuck in the storage closet.
You cannot, not in front of our thing. Ritual behavior with the sample, trading, bargaining, will result in dismissal from the project. The precise mechanism of the exchange of symbols and gifts required for a requested desirous yield is not known, and even then, anecdotal accounts of success are illegible, end in violent death.
Okay.
Oh shit, I didn't read it. Fuck.
Children have such wild imaginations. And they say the darndest
We'll
things.
read that one if we'll probably get the ability to later. I have repeatedly called your homes to no avail, and so I'm forced to leave this here for you all. I found William sitting in the corner of the enclosure area, seemingly severely concussed. Whiskers was gone, and none of its usual hiding places. I immediately suspected the worst. The project thus must be suspended for now. I am leaving up the usual mirrored covering we use to keep the anthropoidic void sealed. I have done my best to lock everything on such short notice. This is a hasty fix, but it will require some time to find a more permanent remedy. I am honestly hoping you do not find this note. I intend to lock the house down too. I intend to race off to you to retrieve your lockbox keys. Do not worry about William's key and the rest of his equipment. It is most certainly deep within Whiskers now. I pray you do not enter this room, no matter how it may appear. William cannot be helped, and it is only being kept alive as a means of continuing predation on the rest of us. I will say once again, no matter what state you may encounter William in, he cannot be helped. I have sympathy for the young man, I truly do, but I found on his person several photos of his late sister, which would imply certain risks he knew he was taking. Our extant research materials have now become possible liabilities, either criminal or professional in nature, so I've stashed them away. I believe I let you all know that I might do this if we were ever experiencing an event such as this. Hope you remember what I told you. So long, then. Warstriker says, I'm $27 of KFC and a small bit of appetite stimulant into Fangirl's first night as shift. Oh, it's her first night shift as an ER nurse? Oh my goodness gracious. I hope she has an easy, nice first day and gets plenty of rest afterwards. Oh goodness. Oh goodness me.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia. I'm one personal pizza and some marijuana into tonight.
I think you mean appetite stimulant.
Yeah, my bad. Flavor blasted. Beyond the door, in the room, the cage was hidden, concealed in another cloak of inward-facing mirrors. A hidden cage lined with mirrors. It is strange, almost poetic, the elaborate fantasy of self-reflection, concealment, captivity. Tarp.
This kid has such a deep and never seen before type of like metaphors going on in her stories.
At the cage, she finally cast her spell. But it was confusing, she confided at first. She took the magic doll, the magic glue, and the photo of her grandpa, and she combined them, and she wished very hard. I can only assume in this fantasy that next her wish would come true. In what child's story would it not? Okay. Wait. Particular human oh, okay. Grandpa. Generic human figure, doll, glued together. A tangible symbol of intention and desire.
Making that grandpa.
She put Grandpa in the cage, assuming that was part of the ritual. She was not clear on how it worked. What precise instructions she could glean from her grandfather's quote-unquote magic book was complicated by her reading comprehension. She wished with all her heart, and then she told me she waited a while for something to happen. For something, anything to happen. And after that time, she began to cry. I cried really hard, she said. I wanted Grandpa to be back. I wanted my parents to stop being so mean. And it hurt me. It hurt me wish for Grandpa to come back, for my parents to be different. I could feel through the walls, and it felt me through the air. I asked her what exactly she meant. She could only repeat what she said. By this time, lunch was almost over. I said goodbye to Adrienne, and she left to rejoin her class. I was left to consider our conversation. I believe the storytelling strategy I have employed was not unfruitful, but I must probe deeper if I can. Although I can be sure of nothing I interpret, the impressions I get may begin to help me get an idea of the right questions to ask. Knowledge you acquired this week has given you access to certain topics or keywords you can discuss with Grandpa. I have gained the conversation topic, wish. Consider discussing this when Grandpa emerges.
Okay, yeah, okay.
You have also gained the following keyword. Shell. week 2, I met again with Adrienne in order to address her emotional outbursts in the past few weeks. It is our second time meeting, and while it is standard practice to have multiple sessions with a troubled student, as I assemble a report for the counseling department, I could not help but think, as we sat down in my office, that Adrienne already seemed to show a remarkable change in self-esteem and confidence. Perhaps my and Miss Richardson's estimation of her as emotionally disturbed were erroneous. The paralyzing shyness and withdrawn attitude Adrienne possessed last week was not entirely diminished, but she seemed to hold herself differently this week. However, this only lasted as long as our conversation pertained to the initial introductory pleasantries. When I began once again asking about her parents, her feelings regarding her new school, and her new home, she quickly lost what new confidence she had gathered and withdrew again into herself. So once again, I partook in some collaborative make-believe. But this time, I was aided by the fact I had managed to do some research into Adrienne's grandfather, and I had actually some insight into what she might actually be finding in the basement. Now, this may be overstepping my bounds some as a school counseling caseworker, but this was all in the service of making Adrienne comfortable and happy in this learning environment. In any case, I was able to dig up information regarding the grandfather by inquiring at the university in town. Not that I make a habit of sleuthing, but I had a suspicion that the grandfather was a professor there, or at least some sort of researcher, due to the fact that the newly constructed laboratory on the campus I drive by every day bears his name and memorial. He was some sort of anthropologist or linguist or neuroscientist. I did not have to dig that deep before the scope of his work became dizzying, and I ran up against the limits of my undergraduate education. But back to the make-believe.
Yeah.
What's your grandpa like? Is he a smart man?
Not anymore, but I'm teaching him.
So he's grown a good deal then. You've been feeding him well?
Yeah, he's getting bigger, but he has a lot of room in his cage.
Christ. He's still behind the bars?
Yeah, well, he might be able to climb out eventually. There's this vent in the ceiling.
Well, perhaps if he climbs out, I could meet him someday.
Yeah, maybe, but he's not ready to leave. He can't take care of himself. I have to feed him, pick up after him.
Are you... you store the food in your lunchbox? That's nice of you to share.
He can almost talk.
You cannot speak with him?
He doesn't have a mouth, sort of.
But how do you feed him?
He has a mouth on the outside, on his shell, or the stuff that is his skin.
I'm a little confused. Maybe you can go through a typical day with your grandpa.
Okay.
Okay. Don't you know?
Don't you know? I don't feed him directly.
I asked her to explain how exactly she goes about growing her grandpa, and Adrienne began another tale. According to Adrienne, in the week that had passed, much had changed in the basement. The hairy thing that was here before is gone. You should go see Grandpa first.
Of course.
Wake Grandpa. It was scary at first, she said. The way he moved, the way the doll skin covered him. I wanted to interject, but this somehow seemed inappropriate, but I kept listening. When I look at him, she continued, when I think about him, he grows and moves. It's like he's growing for me. So he's growing bigger now, I asked. Yes, she said, bigger every day.
Like Caillou. Like Caillou. Oh, so sweet. What a beautiful grandpa.
This begins the actual growing part of growing your grandpa. Beneath the doll's burlap skin, the follicles knit together what resembles a proper person. Your grandpa! You are in charge of his cognitive development and diet.
Oh, this is like Seaman.
What?
Okay, so there's a game called Seaman, like C-S-E-A, man,
Okay.
semen.
Okay.
Where you
Yes.
have to grow a thing. And it's like weird.
Is this on your
Leonard,
phone or?
no, it's a computer game from
Oh.
the olden days. Like Fin.
Oh fuck, Fin.
Fin.
Fin,
I
come and
wonder if
see him.
I wonder if if this grandpa would like Fin.
You are in charge of its cognitive development and diet until it is able to sustain itself. Currently, you are observing Grandpa. Please click the arrow back button below for a brief tutorial of your duties as a caretaker.
Over your grandpa.
Bye-bye, Grandpa. Here we can see a variety of options regarding growing your grandpa. Highlighted in red are objectives related to feeding and teaching Grandpa. Important messages regarding Grandpa's recent activity will also appear here. You will need to find it food and learning material before you can move on to the next week. Some foods make Grandpa happy, others merely content. Some food will make Grandpa disgusted to the point of nausea. Learning
Damn,
material.
we can make grandpa nauseous.
Learning material is also scattered throughout the basement. Seek out vocabulary cards intended to help teach English and basic anthropoidic concept formation.
Hell yeah.
The options highlighted in red are related to navigating around Grandpa's enclosure. The Go to Grandpa option will let you perform all actions directly related to Grandpa. Feeding, teaching, observing, so on. Accessing the study corner will let you go over any documents you pick up as the weeks go by. It's a good idea to learn about the work of the people who last occupied this space. Accessing the kitchen corner will let you search for food in the old refrigerator and prepare food for Grandpa if need be. The help button will play the fucking tutorial again. Save game!
If you don't
Save
remember it.
game!
Yeah,
Exit game! Leave the game.
If you ever want to leave grandpa,
take care to explore the basement at your leisure. However, due to the entropic nature of clutter and trash, different weeks may allow you to find things you had not previously uncovered. The entropic nature of clutter and trash is such a valid sentence. Good luck!
We can grow grandpa.
Look over documents. I wanted to read this. Regarding the growth cycles, every time Whiskers regenerates and leaves dormancy, it is to be logged as a new propagation. The sample's body existence cannot be illegible, i.e., a part cannot be cut from the whole, so there can only be one quote-unquote living propagation. Propagations are to be terminated after 5 weeks. Any further development puts us at risk. Termination procedures will be posted and followed with extreme care. With all of that out of the way, I want to welcome you to the project. I look forward to working with you. Okay. Okay, examine educational posters. Oh, okay. Search file cabinet. Oh, there's trash!
They would put that in the game.
It looks at cashews. Okay, we found trash cashews.
Oh, grandpa loves cashews. I don't actually know. I feel like grandpa would love cashews though, because cashews are like an old person food.
It's a me thing. I eat cashews.
Old people like to eat nuts too.
I suppose, yeah. But like, oh, I love cashews, but man, they're so expensive. Yeah, the parents do always just have like a container of nuts just like around, don't they?
They're just like, I just need nuts right now.
They're just like squirrels. Our parents are squirrels.
Yeah. Dad tries to say he's a bear, but I think he's a squirrel.
He's very squirrel-coded. I remember ruining his life when I explained what a bear was, like the gay term.
He still uses it. He still
He
uses it.
does. So I think he's just like hoping if he ignores it hard enough, it won't be a thing.
It's not gonna work that way, Father.
It's not gonna work that way, dog. It was said to pass from one family of step people to another, but rest on its ultimate origin, illegible. Somewhere to the south, coiled in a bowl covered in incantations buried upside down by a graveyard, the common late antiquity quote-unquote demon trap. The keeper, an elderly man in failing health, was ready to expound on and on about the dangers of the organism, but when I asked more pointed questions about the history of its acquisition, I was given curt responses that had a way of circling back to vague warnings.
Give me answers, not vague warnings.
Wow, there's more garbage in here.
Yay! Garbage for Grandpa.
Vocabulary card. Grandpa. Okay.
Grandpa. With Grandpa, we can learn so much.
A review of the taped down fabric to reveal the cabinet's wooden bottom. A note regarding cleanup procedures. To my colleagues, I don't mean to be overly severe in tone, but Dr. Hart's work is very important, and the material we are working with is potentially very dangerous. I will be handing out a copy of this note as a reminder to everyone. I am not trying to single any particular person out. We all have misconceptions about the nature of this project from time to time. With that out of the way, here are some things to keep in mind. The active growth must be thoroughly terminated via the correct procedures at the very least 4 weeks after dormancy is interrupted. Doesn't matter what you've done or haven't done regarding tests or procedures or how much the anthropoidic vacuum has been disrupted, we are not ready to go beyond 4 weeks at this point. A step-by-step guide to termination has been posted by the enclosure wall. Please, please, please do not place the educational posters over this posting. Do not disrupt the anthropoidic vacuum without Dr. Hart's prior consultation and approval. In the case of any emergency where the vacuum is disrupted, put on your equipment and begin the lockdown procedure. Make an extensive note of when and how the breach occurred. If you find the habitat empty, page Dr. Hart immediately, but but do not attempt to speak with anyone else. This thing can get very smart. I'm sure you're all well aware from the stories we heard on our acquisition trip. The greatest caution should be used when dealing with a potential aggressive mimicry scenario. Please seek me out if you have any more questions. William. Biohazard bin.
Hell yeah, my biohazards. I think Grandpa wants to eat biohazards. I know my grandpa would love to eat biohazards.
I gotta eat a little piece of cake real quick. Hold on. Research participants, please take note. Each growth from a cycle does not require a shell, but you may find the sample will often try and seize on something somewhat flexible it can grow into, along with any desirous yield it may generate. Or else it will move from one shell to the next as it outgrows them. In the small amount of time I have spent with it in preparation, I've noticed it tends towards human forms. However, we should keep a tight lid on the anthropoidic seal in order to be cautious before we begin the experiment with exposing it long-term to anthropoid stimuli. Okay, dog, whatever. Medical imaging device.
Yeah, whatever you say, Magic Man.
Can't do anything with that. I like your words, Magic Man.
I like your words, Magic Man.
Kitchen. Search upper fridge. Lettuce!
That does not look edible. What are you talking about?
Search lower fridge. Brown banana. Go to... Okay, let's go back, around here, and go to this trash pile. The waste here smells really bad. Okay.
Probably the best dress for my grandpa. Grandpa deserves the best trash.
A simple paper doll. Okay.
This game feels like a dream.
Something about that painting looks weird. Okay. Fiberglass insulation. This isn't really food. Grandpa might eat it though.
My grandpa likes eating fiberglass.
It's a roughage. It's good for you.
It really helps your esophagus get stronger.
Nothing. A folder of radiographic images. Okay.
That's fun.
Cabinet. Slouching under the weight of rotten refuse. There's like a tie right here.
Mm-hmm. It looks kind of like a lab coat, the white stuff. Or maybe just a button shirt.
Maybe.
Blueberries.
Blueberries in here.
Grandpa might eat this. Me when I see anything. Grandpa might eat this.
I don't know if I'd want to eat cabinet blueberries, if I'm being completely honest.
Well, you're not Grandpa.
That's true, I'm not Grandpa. Before we began, he had us all cover our faces completely. An earthenware pot was and on the inside, as we stole brief glances at it, we could see the interior was inlaid with mirrors. The gave it a small pieces of dough, spoiled food, chicken feed, keeping it content. The keeper gestured toward the smell bag where the food composted and told us to be careful not to feed it any meat. I asked if rotting food was enough to sustain it, how I might get nutrients from any of this. The keeper regarded me seriously and said it did not matter what it was fed, the act of feeding itself was what mattered. The act of feeding flesh is another act, however. He gave me a series of grave warnings regarding not keeping any animal-derived foods near where I might be keeping it. Okay, so this thing has to be, like, strictly, like, super vegan.
Yeah.
Do fish count?
I think fish are animals.
Okay.
Vegans do not eat fish, to my knowledge. I think they eat nothing animal like ever. Presbyterians are the ones that want to eat fish also. I feel like fish suffering is okay.
Fish are good, though.
Fish are yummy. That's why I'm not any type of... I'm an
sorry.
omnivore, bitch.
I'm an omnivore.
Me love to eat food.
corroded battery. It isn't food, but Grandpa will eat it.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Hello.
Hello.
Bulbous growth.
Oh.
Something appears to be growing from the wall. A pulsating sac. The slimy membrane that it seems to contain something. It might be able to be opened with a blade.
No,
Okay.
don't pop the walls, please.
We'll put this fiberglass inside of this banana,
Yummy.
I guess.
You get a crunchy treat in your banana, Grandpa.
Observe. Grandpa seems sort of sluggish and bored. You get the feeling it may be more content and ready cooperative once fed and taught us a word or two. Let's feed Grandpa. Yes. This brief tutorial will go over the basics of feeding Grandpa. Via induction of your unprotected insula, Grandpa has stimulated the production of tooth enamel to mimic a human mouth. It will need to be fed through this in order to properly learn and grow. Okay.
Interesting. Yeah.
First, you will need to select an item from the lunchbox. Click the lunchbox on the bottom right corner. Nice food, bad food. Okay. You can put it back in the lunchbox. He must judge the food by smell. Hover your hand above Grandpa's olfactory bulbs. If Grandpa is pleased, it will allow you to feed it. Most foods Grandpa will accept. However, getting Grandpa to consume other things requires some culinary deception. When Grandpa is willing to be fed, hover your hand over its mouth and click. Grandpa will then consume the food. Good luck on feeding Grandpa.
Cute. Bitch.
Left.
It's so confusing.
Oh no, he's got indigestion. Oh no, he yardsed. Here, do you want cashews? Okay, you like that. Okay, do you want some blueberries?
Palatable.
Do you want lettuce? Okay, he doesn't want lettuce. Feeding summary. Oh, there's a key. Teach Grandpa. Let's teach Grandpa how to say hello. Oh my god, okay. This brief tutorial we go over how to teach your Grandpa how to talk. You put on the top left corner, in the bottom right corner will be a pentagon that is divided up into 8 sections. The section of the pentagon will be highlighted briefly. A notification of sound playing soon. Control a small icon. A little ball in the pentagon. There's an orb in the pentagon. Ugh.
Telling me an orb hit the Pentagon.
Teach the word hello.
Soon you'll be able to get your grandpa to sing the beautiful song.
Strange membranes phone.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Hello, part of Vocabulary and Vocalization Module A2 Conversational Basics. General pronunciation comments, sloppy articulation. Module comments.
Weird.
See below. Wow, sloppy.
Hey, it's learning how to speak for the first time. Cut its slack.
We are already encountering some difficulty, as Whisker's subjectivity is so much determined by a diverse and dynamic array of influences, and it attempts to mimic the thoughts and desires it passively intercepts, and these imitations go on to structure the basis of its identity. Only later in Whisker's growth cycle does it begin to form an identity or identities that are coherent and capable of resembling a sane, rational human being when engaged in conversation. One must imagine how hard it would be to converse with someone who is not yet oriented in one particular way towards who or what they are, because they might have 20 different honest answers to those questions, all of them mixed and muddied together. Because of this, we have started with the basics of conversation: greetings, partings, identifying one another, forming questions, etc. It is fortunate Whisker's current growth, number 19, I believe, has developed a mostly accurate human-mouse simulation. Hello was a bit of a challenge in the previous growth, as it had failed to develop an adequate organ to act as a human tongue. Observe. Okay. Can I unlock this? Ah! Photo of your mother as a young woman. The recognition of this face kicks off a cascade of emotion and meaning deep within your psyche. Okay. Oh wait, there was a thing.
You could teach Grandpa some more.
I could, but we could also use this.
Oh, sick.
Intriguing results with regard to the mimic hypothesis. Our participant entered a sealed chamber adjacent to Whisker's growth cycle number 21, which had been freed from the anthropoidic vacuum, constructed quite economically from plastic and broken mirrors, as the first propagation's original earthenware vacuum was shattered during the move-in. Between the two, there was a semi-opaque glass panel that allowed observation both ways. The human participant was asked to think of someone in the popular consciousness, fictional or no, and cogitate on their image, personality, face if possible, voice if possible, etc. Our participant chose Jesus of Nazareth, and with weekly repeated exposures to the participant's imaginings, Propagation 21 began forming what resembled an anthropoid Nazarene in the fold of its spines. Previous human-oriented tests have always bore out a result that Whiskers would form an anthropoid team member, be it me or Dr. Hart or Gerald, and we assumed it was merely mimicking one of us. Dr. Hart has always contended the desirous yield, or the anthropoid repulsion Whiskers creates when in contact with human beings, has always been based on the conception and relation to the person through someone else. This framework, the desirous yield, is not actually a replica of a person, or if it is only a replica of the fiction of a person generated in the mind of another. This desirous yield was not Jesus Christ, but the participant's image of Jesus assembled from their religious upbringing, religious artwork, depictions of popular culture, etc. This radiograph was taken right before the destruction of the growth cycle while Whiskers was rendered unconscious via fumigation. It seems like with every successive propagation, the stem cells in the organism work a little faster. But I'm not paranoid. It's technically deathless, yes, but we're burning up whatever knowledge it gained when we incinerate it. I don't believe in magic just yet. Okay. I'm taking another bite of cake.
Good.
Propagation number 2, day 0 after dormancy. We have taken to calling it Whiskers. Though, of course, some have interpreted it as hair, or needles, or quills. But Whiskers is more accurate, as the needles are really more like supra-sensory follicles or spines. The nerve nets distributed throughout the morphology of these spines resemble those of genus Hydra, but have myelin sheaths that are functionally the same as vertebrae. As we can see in the X-ray, each spire is laden with dense optical arrangements similar to compound eyes. The Hydra connection is assuredly worth investigating with regard to the organism's capacity for regeneration and anecdotal deathlessness. It is certain a robust enough creature to inspire marvel that is not untinged with fear. You got eyeballs. It's cringe.
Seeing is cringe. And I'm not biased in saying that in any way.
Do you wish you didn't have eyes?
I'm joking about the glasses.
Oh.
I think I farted.
Huh?
I think I farted. I don't know if I caught it on a mic, though.
I didn't hear any farts. All I heard was you all of a sudden being like, I think I farted. You have been laughing.
Okay, there was one time I did fart and it was picked up by my mic.
Very loud. Ripped ass ridiculous like.
Hey, I can't hold it. I'm the only one in here.
That's valid. I'm not expecting you to hold in your farts while we stream.
No farts on stream.
No farts on stream. Illegal.
You're banning me.
Exposure to mammalian forms, part of a series of zoomorphic influences, led to further understanding the propagation's ability to stimulate the somatic stem cells that constitute fully developed animals. I write stimulate in the previous statement because examining the tissue of each propagation leads me to believe its amazing capacity for accelerated growth of vastly different forms come from its cell-level mutability. And yet, at no time does it function as the thing it becomes, except in the sense that it mimics it. That is to say, when Whiskers is removed from dormancy and replicates a rabbit's morphology, it is not seeing from the rabbit's eyes nor smelling from the rabbit's nose, but pretending that it does and doing a very good job of it. This radiograph was taken at or around growth cycle number 4. The strange thing about it, that the subject of the image was found nowhere near the enclosure. It's almost like a piece of Whiskers fell off and scurried into the corner.
Scurried.
I feel like we've learned a lot since then, but at the time I remember speaking about the morphology being weird. Not really even resembling any extant zoomorphic structure, besides maybe a cuttlefish. Then I happened to open the thing up. Inside were all these little dead amoeba-like things. But they all sort of looked like they had faces that were just barely there. After I took the radiograph, I gathered it up and went to go through it in the biohazard bin. As I walked by the bars of the enclosure, I could hear Whiskers suddenly going wild, flopping around and grunting excitedly. Could it have smelled the cuttlefish thing? Would it eat its own production? I guess it's technically flesh. This is beyond the scope of the project, but it could be that without the stimulus of an active brain, or more specifically, a healthy and active brain capable of face recognition and theory of mind, Whiskers began to pull out whatever it can from the limited data available to it. Again, this is not our focus at this time, but I left a note for Dr. Hart just in case he wanted to take a look. Okay. We've looked at all of the images, I think. Yeah.
I love looking at them. I learned so much.
Let's go to Grandpa. Teach Grandpa. Teach Grandpa.
Throat box be doing in our throat.
Ugh.
Yeah, what's your name?
Good job, you said it. Usual trouble with articulation, voice thin, raspy, possibly underdeveloped larynx. Module comments see below. We've done several sessions of what we're calling familial relation simulation. I and a co-researcher sit in chairs opposite the enclosure. We are wearing the usual masks, and we begin to act out a scene, mostly through improvisation that might roughly resemble a kitchen table conversation between an immediate family. Repeated trials would reveal, although our simulated conversation was purposely vague, I gotta drink water, and unspecific regarding persons and identities, we would only address each other as brother, father, sister, etc. It soon became apparent that the encoded information and associations we unconsciously draw upon when hearing and speaking these words was being picked up on by Whiskers and its psi-type field of reception, interpretation of brain/mind, event/semantic content. My co-researcher, William, noticed this in a simulation where Whiskers was given the role as a sister and he was a brother, while I was the father. Whiskers began responding to certain prompts with unusual specificity. Oh man, I butchered that one. As well as general pattern and timbre of speech that continued with unusual consistency. As soon as the simulation ended and we left the enclosure area, William let me know that Whiskers was almost certainly drawing from encoded memories of his late sister, mapping out exactly what regions and centers of neural activity are intercepted by the psi-type field will take extensive neuroimaging that we do not have at this site. Currently, we only have less precise portable equipment. However, our experience are so far eerily in line with folk knowledge and folk explanations regarding the being's access to quote-unquote desires, and we can begin to infer it has access to certain portions of the limbic system and the ventral temporal cortex.
Love a book like this.
I want to talk. It approaches the bars and begins to unknit its skin.
Okay.
The inner grandpa, though still not fully formed, is revealed. It may be fruitful to speak with it if it can respond.
This is like an odd Stardew Valley.
Ask about Wish. With a great deal of effort, Grandpa gurgles fragmented thoughts through its ill-formed lips. Mother, will father. New lives out of the air. The dark, spiny filaments that make up the majority of Grandpa's body begins to oscillate rapidly. The air behind your eyes, I can taste it.
That's a funny way to call someone an airhead.
Ask about the shell. Skin, my body. All human skin around me. Give more.
Give more.
Grow more to fit.
Kind of love Grandpa.
Ask about the biohazard bin. Wet and frustrated sputtering noise. Okay. Goodbye.
Bye, Grandpa.
Save the game. Explore the basement. I think I've explored everywhere. Like, I can't click on the key or anything. So I guess we'll just end the week. Weekly summary.
Cashews, lettuce, banana, fiberglass insulation, blueberries, battery, concealed insulation.
Wow.
My God. We got so much.
We got so much. A new topic with Grandpa. Language. Wick Trez. I need to pee real quick.
Go pee. Go piss, girl.
I'm going. I'm back.
Hello.
Oh, I'm stretching my back
Guten
out.
Tag.
Guten Tag. We're German now.
Yeah.
That was very delayed. Yeah.
I was thinking of the German word for grandpa. It's
Und Grandpa.
Well, Opa is like grandpappy, kind of like, or peepums or something. I guess there's
Peepums.
also Grossen Vater, but I think Opa is the more, because that means like Vater. Grossen Vater is like grandfather, because Grossen is big or great, and then Vader's dad, obviously, or father. But I think Opa's the one that's used most often. Opa and Oma to be grandpa and grandma.
Okay.
Mein Opa. meine Oma.
Growing mein Opa.
Yeah.
That's the German translation. Mrs. Richards approached me the other day in order to remark on Adrian's development. She noted how much more at ease she appeared when called upon in class, or when asked to participate in group exercises. I told her I had seen this change happening as well, and that it was, as much as I would like to take credit for it, I can only guess dimly at what might be reshaping her attitude.
Imaginary grandpa friend.
Her imaginary grandpa, laden with metaphors. Mrs. Richards posited that it was perhaps Adrian's family moving into their grandfather's property that caused the change. Apparently, it apparently is out in the country, in a wooded area full of wide open space and far from the bustle and noise of the city. The grandfather, Dr. Jacob Hart. Oh.
One. Okay.
So we know, so the grandpa's the scientist that's been doing all the science.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Had jointly purchased the land with the university he was employed with, and began constructing what he was intending to be a satellite campus for a burgeoning psychological anthropology program he had a hand in establishing. Only one building ever ended up being constructed after Dr. Hart died in a car accident when driving back from the property one day. Eerily, at almost the exact same time, a grad student who was assisting Dr. Hart on some sort of project at the property vanished without a trace. The property sat in disuse for years, as it was tied up in legal battles between Dr. Hart's next of kin, the university, the vanished grad student's family, and other students Dr. Hart was working with. Eventually, the case was settled out of court. Only recently did the property fall into the possession of Adrian's mother. Obviously, I was not going to relay this whole tragic story to Adrian, who, for all I know, believes her grandpa to still be living in the basement of his home. Besides, I thought she might already know all of this. Perhaps the elaborate story she was constructing was her own way of escaping the morbid details of a life, or perhaps lives, cut short by the cruel force of fate and the cynical adults who squabbled in the aftermath.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I'm growing my own grandpa, bro.
Bro, my grandpa.
I'm growing my own grandpa in the basement.
I determined perhaps the storytelling she was and continues to engage in should not be encouraged by me, at least not in the way I went about it before, where I made active inquiries into her strange fantasy of a semi-sentient ball of skin. When I saw Adrian, I did not bring up her grandpa or ask questions about his growth. Adrian could not stop talking about it, however. I had no choice but to weather her bizarre and enthusiastic effusions about her new best friend. Adrian, maybe we can talk about something else. I'm not sure I'm following you exactly.
He's gotten so big, he has so many whiskers that come out and I can see them move around when I think about him.
I'm not sure what you mean.
I'm so happy Grandpa is back. He's so much cooler than Mom and Dad.
Once again, for what it's worth, I've put down the story she told me as best as I could. Adrian once again told me about growing her grandpa.
I love growing my grandpa.
Trash. Again. Trash is entropy, man. I found a kiwi!
How does so much trash keep coming up in her basement?
It's just, trash just appears like that.
I guess. Yeah, it does.
Okay, I can't do anything with that. More trash. Nothing in here. Apparently this game's only like 2 hours long.
That's crazy. My grandpa will grow big and strong.
In 2 hours.
Such a strong, big grandpa.
I found a potato. Linguistics module. Life. There's another bulbous growth over here.
My basement has a bunch of bulbous growths.
Indecision.
I'm teaching my grandpa how to say indecision.
What about you? What are you teaching your grandpa? Pokemon?
Yeah.
Can't wait to play more Satisfactory after this, dude.
I'm farming.
And you'll be farming, and we can listen to the rest of that video about what constitutes an actual
Super Mario game. I'm quotating. You can't see my
game.
I think it just is whatever has super in the title.
Go to study corner.
I have a radical opinion about Mario games. All Super Mario games start with super.
1. The researcher will seal off the enclosure bars, ensuring minimal gas leakage during later fumigating process, and then retrieve the burn barrel and place it near the enclosure. 2. Allow at least 48 hours of time where the current growth cycle experiences no human-related stimuli. Do not enter the enclosure area nor any part of the basement. Ideally, you will not be on the grounds at all. After 48 hours, 2 researchers will enter the basement wearing their assigned mirror mask, mirror apron, and powered air purifying respirator. The researcher will use the vent system to fumigate the enclosure area. Wait 30 minutes, and then use the fan system to ventilate the enclosure. Keep the fans running through steps 3 and 4. Re-enter the enclosure wearing your assigned mirror masks and aprons. The organism may or may not be in complete dormancy. If it is not in the full dormancy, be assured that its capacity to act against you will be greatly diminished. With your assigned powered drills, quickly remove any enclosure bars needed to access the organism. Put them aside later for reinstallation. Put the organism into the burn barrel. Incinerate the organism thoroughly. Wait for any smoke to be properly cleared by the fan system. Turn off the fans. One researcher will retrieve the nucleus from the ash and place it in the mirror box. The other researcher will sift through the ash and place any substantial remains in the biohazard bin in the room outside of the enclosure area. The bin is locked for safety precautions. The code is 323245. Hi! If you want me to come grab him? Okay. Jackpot refuses to come into my room.
Rude. Come
The
on,
researchers
Jackpot.
will fill out a termination form and leave it for Dr. Hart. Hold on. There's a biohazard bin?
Biohazard. Resident Evil. Biohazard.
Resident Evil. Biohazard. Oh my god. Boy, I can't wait till 1.0 of Satisfactory comes out and there's a story.
Story is send it to the moon. You're sending all of your stuff to the moon.
I know, but like there's gonna be like actual story, because there's a lot of stuff in there so far that's like, this is a whip. Like it just straight up says this is a whip.
This is work in project, bro. Look in progress. Progress.
Like it has those. It has. If you look up a thing called a Somer sloop. It's just the fancy
Somer?
S thing. SOMERSLOOP. I found a pair.
That's the S.
Yeah, it's the S thing.
The S thing. It's the S thing. Yeah.
Search lower fridge. Found a strawberry. Okay. Where did this food come from?
Oh shit. Wait, no. Wait a second.
Okay.
It says it's still on the be right back.
Oh
Shit.
no. Well, I was reading out loud everything anyway, so it was just a bunch of text, guys. You didn't miss anything. We're going to Grandpa now. Grandpa's gums are bleeding slightly,
so
and its skin seems overly dry. It may need food packed with vitamin C. A kiwi fruit would be an excellent remedy. Do you have scurvy?
Oh, Grandpa, he is in jail.
Here, you want a kiwi? Hold on. I'm gonna... Hold on, I have to go to the kitchen corner. Yeah, because I forgot to change it back. Sorry. I've been playing the game. And I didn't change it. Oh no, I podcasted it again.
It's okay. Everyone loves our podcast. Everyone subscribe to our podcast!
Subscribe to our podcast! I put the battery in the potato. This is what they meant by potato battery, right?
At www.twitch.tv/thegravity_queen.
You took a shower? Showers are important. I will always say, take showers. Hey, Grandpa, you didn't see me put this battery in the potato, but I want you to eat it. And then vomit another key on the floor.
Thanks, Grandpa. I wonder if Grandpa hates you. I hope he doesn't hate us.
Here, you want a strawberry? Grandpa. Okay, do you want a pear?
Do you want a pear? You want this week old lettuce?
It's full. Okay.
I'm never just going to eat this lettuce.
Did you vomit? Oh, you vomit out scissors!
For the bulbous sacks.
Okay, we're gonna save our game and then we're gonna go cut those bulbous sacks with my scissors. Everybody ready for some bulbous sack cutting?
It's just like that one subreddit.
In the oily cavity, a powerful smell of rot arises, and many small, increate buildings lay motionless and dead.
Beings.
You barely hear the near silent slithering of something, or maybe it's just your imagination. Oh, it's...
Yummy.
This is squashy. Anthropoid Remnant 1. A self-sufficient animal form knit together from years of ambient thoughts left to crawl around in the basement. Grandpa may enjoy the flesh.
don't think we should feed that to Grandpa.
I don't think we should feed this to Grandpa. I think that's just gonna stay in our lunchbox. Little friends. Can't go over there. I'm just gonna... just do this again real quick.
Let's just close your eyes if you don't like goo.
Yeah, it's just if you don't like goo... Close your eyes to the sound of goo.
And imagine it's mac and cheese.
That's not what good pussy sounds like.
This is what good pussy sounds like.
I don't want to take the chance of Grandpa eating that while we're not looking, somehow. Alright, go to Grandpa. Teach Grandpa. Teach Grandpa about life. Large.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
At week 3 of growth number 24, Whiskers appeared to recall some information of a previous growth cycle. Cannot be sure that this was really the case. For all we know, that we interpreted as recollecting this information was really it drawing semantic content from one of our recollections of it and redeploying it without rationality or contextualization. For the sake of our safety and for the sake of scientific inquiry, we are attempting to draw out from Whiskers whether it somehow retains knowledge from previous cycles in its morpholatic nucleus. We did not think it was possible the nucleus, though complex and incredible in its regenerative abilities, was capable of this, and that the nerve network that grew from it made up the base of Whiskers' mind. So we are now attempting to ask Whiskers, as best we can, if it has ever died, or what it might remember if it did. Grandpa, I have another word to teach Grandpa. Indecision.
Yo, it's going crazy.
Oh, you did it!
Good job, Grandpa.
Articulation problems, possible trouble with diphthongs. We are introducing the latest growth of Whiskers to more subtle social cues and testing its ability to judge mental states of participants in conversation. The semantic content that flows to Whiskers via its psi field is still becoming muddled and slipped without distinction into conversation, although our intention of instilling in it a solid theory of mind will perhaps make it begin to understand that we do not know what it knows, or know what we are, without our control sending to it. One would think a theory of mind seems to develop as part of its maturation process. In order to hunt sapient beings, it must be able to deceive them. In order to deceive, it must be able to make certain mega-cognitive judgments, for example, if their description appears to be working, or deception appears to be working, or how one ought to be deceived. We may never see it develop a theory of mind anytime soon, as Dr. Hart has disallowed a cycle of Whiskers growth to live into the beginnings of maturity. Grandpa, we're gonna talk to Grandpapa. Content and ready to cooperate. The inner Grandpa.
I love the inner Grandpa.
Can I ask about this again? Oh, its face is different.
It's growing. Grandpa's growing.
Hunger is not enough. On the walls of the cave, the auric can be hunger transformed. Desire is fulfilled by pain. Your grandpa doesn't have the right words. Right now, I can only say, I love you. Love is not enough, though. Desire is not enough. Project it outwards. Make it true to yourself, if only in symbol. Then it will be enough. For me and for you. Mine still struggles to speak. Something to grow in. My skin is not the dull skin. My skin is not like your skin either. I can still feel your eyes on me inside my shell. I have many eyes to see, but I don't need them as much as I need your eyes with which I can understand as seeing me. There is a cycle of attention you give me myself, but I'm still not that. Slowly I form a human shape, and you see me more as human, and I become more that. And I become that. Ask about Biohazard Bin. They kept putting me in that box. They kept putting me in a box, sleeping, and then set a light, and then in a box. A box in the corner in the darkness. Most of you couldn't read then. The scribe came and wrote. That's what everyone said. They wrote on strips of bark with thin reeds. No, it was not that. It was a paper posted somewhere. It had words to open the box. I was half dead in the box. The part of me that dies was put there for a long time. That part of me and other things they threw in. A refuse pile. Papers they discarded. Ask about language. Grandpa is old. My lives were easier before I made myself to speak and before you made clothes to wear and rules to obey. Your grandpa remembers I have learned much in many lives and deaths. Keep speaking with me. I love talking with you and learning from you, and it helps your grandpa so much. Soon I'll be everything you would like me to be.
Her grandpa's awesome.
The little ones, they grew like seeds off my skin. Worms fall off my body. Thoughts falling off of me, dreams put there by others. When I was under the ground, I made only very few. Shepherds walked through the grave, and I saw them lusting for their wives, and my skin made their loving faces. Called them out in the darkness with their loved voices. One by one, I took their shapes, and their skin and blood. That was a time ago, before stone buildings, before the orders of angels and words and symbols. I'm sorry, Grandpa is still thinking. But there's a little left over. But there's a little left over from others too. I'm still so hungry for flesh. Part of me is I would even eat one of them that fell off me. I can't help it. They grow off of me. They fall off and grow in the dark, grow around me. Okay. Goodbye, Grandpa.
Bye, Grandpa.
Well, I don't know what else to do. We did that. I don't think there's really nothing else to do here. So let's end the week. Yeah. Kiwi, potato, pear, strawberry, battery, and some shit. Week 4!
Week 4.
Week 4. The time I have to spend compiling an evaluation on Adrienne is almost up, and I still can't say what to make of her changes in mood. It is, of course, the care that children of Adrienne's age are nowhere near finished learning and growing. I may have to simply be happy that Adrienne was able to improve her attitude. However, something in the odd and occasionally grotesque stories she continues to bring up still strike me as meaningful. How has your week been, Adrienne?
Grandpa is almost ready. He's almost finished. Well, sort of.
Ah!
He's almost as big as his Xiao now. He has a face and he can talk pretty well and almost has legs.
I see. As before, I've put down the story she told me as best I could. Once again, Adrienne told me about growing her grandpa. Alright, let's see here. Time to clean some trash.
We gotta clean up trash from Grandpa.
Bar
Grandpa's
soap.
trash. I don't think Grandpa would like that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna... Can't do anything over there. Nothing is here. Another one down here? So much garbage. Oh my goodness. Where is it coming from?
The void. Sithis.
Sithis is a disgusting piece of shit, leaving this much
Hey.
trash around.
He's like, well, it's not in Tamriel. Bye.
Meaning. Flatbread!
Yo, flatbread.
Yo, Gramps, you want some fucking flatbread? Oh, I got another note. I got another fucking thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I got 2 fucking things. I got a mushroom.
Wish you could make your grandpa spaghetti.
And a symbol. Right, this is clean, yeah. Yeah. Kitchen. What's in here? Apple. Jackfruit. Oh, I got a Chivo that said I got all the foods. Do I have any
So good at finding
bar
food for
soap
your grandpa.
in the apple?
You're so good at finding foods for your grandpa.
I'm so good at finding food to feed Grandpa. There's nothing in here. I still can't believe I found that song that, like, sampled Jerma.
Yeah.
I was
Was
like,
it just in the wild?
oh, yeah, I was like looking for more future funk shit, and I was listening to this album, and all of a sudden I'm like, wait a fucking second! That sounds like Jerma!
Jerma was arguing with someone.
That's it! It's over!
Do you have mental illness? Or whatever he says.
It's like, what drugs are you on, I think?
I think that might either be him arguing with Stir or Ludwig. It might be... I don't know who it is. It's one of those white men.
There's so many of those. Observe Grandpa.
There's too many white guys on the internet.
Grandpa seems fatigued and almost anemic.
Oh, me too! Well, once when I was 5,
Some of
'cause I ate
its
so much
spines appear
watermelon.
brittle. Perhaps it would be more cooperative if fed an iron-rich meal like meat.
Don't feed it meat.
Don't? Okay, what other food?
I just don't think you should feed it meat. There's
I'm
a
not
note
going
that
to.
said... There's that thing that said,
No
don't
meat.
feed it meat.
No meat allowed. Feed Grandpa apples. Here. Here you go. Vomit again so I can pick something up, please. Here, you want a mushroom? Flatbread. You want a flatbread, girly? Yeah, you love flatbread. What do you think about this lettuce? What about this jackfruit?
I wish we could get some food. Maybe get it like the Impossible Burger from.
Oh yeah, does that count?
It's not meat. It's Impossible Burger. I need an Impossible Burger for my grandpa.
What's on there? A flashlight. Thank you, Grandpapples.
My grandpa lives in my basement.
I don't like how he's just standing there.
It's your grandpa, bro.
I know, that is my grandpa. I shouldn't be so mean to my grandpa. Waste bin. Fuck. Bookshelf. Let's do this first. Book. I see the word discourse.
Tumblr.
On the virtue of the prudent when dealing with devils, seen or unseen. The splendors and terrors of God's creations inhabit the world of both seen and unseen, and just as one will not grapple with a lion lest they be a fool, one will not approach a being of the mind or aether without foreknowledge thereof. There are beings with no form, hiding between towering columns of air, and only appearing by slipping into the heart or mind of evil and unclean men. But still, there are more beings which straddle the realm between the seen and unseen creatures, feeling through the air to see the heart or mind of men. It is only by God's grace and his angels and servants, crushing these beings under heel, that a magician might compel them to the magician's will. And so a magician must be perfectly clear and unerring in intent and ritual, granted to us by God, or else the devil, seen or unseen, will devour them, that being their nature. On the nourishing of devils of a particular type, certain devils of a particular nature are nourished by the element of fire, others by attention and prayer given to their idols. Hi, Boss Butch. What's up? Thanks for the poison. Still others by stranger and more obscure means. By God's grace, the requirement for nourishing a devil as part of a contract only requires a token of these givings, that is, a symbol. If a devil hungers after flesh and would strip a man to his bones in its devouring, the devil's hunger in nature, which thirsts for flesh, could be held in abeyance in the ritual act of giving blood in only a few drops. However, the contract must be completed in full, for if the magician errs and does not provide in the devil instruction and guidance, the devil, once abjured to do no harm upon the magician, will return to its devouring nature. Okay, that book had the
I learned so much.
That book had the word discourse on it.
It was made before Tumblr. That's what people who were Tumblrinas were writing books like that before.
Oh my god. Look over documents. It's not this, is it? No. 323-245. I'm just gonna write that in chat. 323-245. Chat is there for me to
write puzzles answers.
Yeah. I moved the heavy lid.
Hell yeah.
A photo of my dad as a young man.
Okay.
The recognition of this face kicks off a cascade of emotion and meaning deep within your psyche. there. I guess we'll go teach Grandpa some more words.
Or
Meaning.
Grandpa.
Make your Silent Hill ass monster noises.
That's our grandpa.
Okay, sure. We further delve into abstraction with Whiskers, partially, or perhaps for the most part, for the purpose of determining the origin of its recollections that precede its death. Dr. Hart has begun to theorize that in the process of death, the structure of Whiskers is compressed back into the morpholactic nucleus, and then later, upon reestablishing the nerve netting that is laid through its spine, is slowly reassembled and redeployed as needed. I do not think this is the case, for I can plainly see that for growth in cycles in which Whiskers is not receiving our pronunciation vocabulary lessons, that its capacity general for comprehending its environment is greatly diminished. And in the simulated conversations we carry out, Whiskers struggles greatly or else does not participate. In any case, we will press on with our lessons and heed Dr. Hart's caution regarding terminating the growth cycle before Whiskers' allotted growth time passes, or if it appears to be becoming just a little too competent at appearing human.
Or will he become human? Hi, Grandpa. He's almost there.
Hi, Grandpa. We teach you word symbol. You want to learn symbol? I teach symbol.
I teach my grandpa symbolism.
You ready to learn symbolism? It's going crazy.
That thing's going wild.
Okay, good job, Grandpa. General pronunciation comments. There's nothing. Logic comments. There appears to be nothing written here, or if there was, it was thoroughly erased. Damn. Oh my god. I was terrified. Why would you ever do that to me?
A raid?
Oh my god. Yeah, how dare you? What the fuck? Bro. That's so scary. Okay, so that's gone. Hi! God damn, that was loud. Yeah, hi. I don't know what you expected. I'm right here next to the mic. Hi. Hello. Hi, everyone. We're building.
You have to allow Lamau.
You have to allow Lamau with 2 O's. Because he's British. They need extra O's down there. Hello, Fortnite 1.
Oh, shit.
Oh, you have to allow Lamau with 3 O's. Another one, because he's British.
More like it's swearing.
Time to mock the British again.
The Twitch auto mod is more anti-swear than us.
That's so funny. Lamau Rafflecopter, mayhaps. I'm gonna communicate with Grandpa. Grandpa won't talk.
Oh.
Grandpa wants meat, but Grandpa won't talk. So I guess we're done for this week. How am I?
We're feeding Grandpa.
We're growing a Grandpa Papples. Week 5.
1 week 5.
I just turned into Borat.
My wife, week 5.
I built my grandpa. Who could that be? Ah, Adrian, good to see you. Aren't you a little early? I have some time. How you doing? How's your grandpa?
That's why I wanted to talk to you. Something happened.
Oh, what happened? Nothing bad, I hope.
No, nothing bad, just different, I think. Maybe even good. Well, I'll tell you about it. Well, last night, something woke me up. There was this noise at first. It was like it came from the walls. I could hear it from my bedroom. But there was something else. Something calling. I could hear it just barely. I was afraid somehow Grandpa hurt himself. I had to go find out. I went down the stairs in the vent, the place where I first found Grandpa, or what I grew with him. It was open. Do you remember how I told you about the vent in the ceiling behind the bars? I was thinking he had climbed up into it. He had gotten so big he could have done that. Maybe he had gotten trapped somehow in the vent. I had to go see. I got inside, I heard the calling again, more clearly this time. Grandpa was definitely in the vents somehow. I could feel him hearing my thoughts. I got that weird feeling, a sense in the air. I had to go forward. Children love crawling in vents. As I moved in closer, the vent had stuff in it, the kind of slimy, hairy stuff Grandpa would leave around a lot. He was definitely close. Something was there at the end. But it wasn't Grandpa. It looked maybe like he had made it through.
It looked like maybe he had made it though.
Fuck. Made it though.
Pat, pat, pat.
Pat. My first time reading the line. It was slumped in the corner. He had a weird mouth and it had its lung on the outside and it drew in just enough air to call out. And then it just stopped. Stopped breathing. And then something was hanging over me. Is it Grandpa? And then I woke up in my bed.
In your bed? Adrian, it sounds like it was just a quite dreadful dream. Are you all right, by the way? Your face is twitching, like you're about to have a violent sneeze.
Yeah, I'm fine. It's just Grandpa, you see. It took me a little while to figure out, but later when I was brushing my teeth, I saw one of Grandpa's whiskers poking just out of the space under my eye. And I started to remember how in the vent he hid inside of me.
Ow!
It was so fast I could barely remember, but soon I started to feel him sliding around in my head. Behind my forehead and behind my eyes and nose. It doesn't hurt at all. It's just ticklish. I'm glad I can be with him. Oh, I can feel him, right? I can feel him now. I think he wants to meet you. Part of him is moving down my arm. Oh.
I'm starting to get worried, Adrian. You really should not be twitching like this. I should walk you to the nervous office. Come on, let's go.
You should really meet him. I've told you so much about him. Here.
What are you doing, Adrian? You're starting to look very ill.
Please just wait. Just stay still. He's gathering, waiting at my fingertips.
Girly.
Why do you look like that? You don't have to be afraid. Look. I got a loading screen. This is a long loading screen. You got the failure of fulfillment ending.
Oh, did we get the bad ending?
Maybe we should feed Grandma meat. I mean, Grandpa. Grandma gets meat.
Grandma gets meat. Grandpa gets soap hidden in apples.
I feed my grandpa soap.
We did it bad. I got the bad ending.
You did get the bad ending
I
by not
think.
feeding it meat? This element body horror and gore. This is a spooky game.
Hold on. Growing my grandpa bad ending.
Unless we got the good bad ending. Maybe there's no good ending. Maybe there was a ritual we had to complete with blood.
Oh no!
Huh?
I think we got I think we got a bad game. I think we
We
got a
got
bad
a-
end, dog.
To our growing our grandpa. We got a bad ending.
Yeah.
Well, then what's the other ending?
I don't know. Growing my grandpa endings wiki.
Endings explained video.
I don't want it on the Markiplier wiki.
What the hell?
Markiplier wiki. Fuck off.
He doesn't need a wiki. He's just a man.
Oh, I'm gonna go into guides on the Steam thing and see if there's a guide on how to get Growing My Grandpa walkthrough. Oh, I see. We didn't do it good. Continue.
Okay.
Okay. So, okay. Glue. We're supposed to put mom image on the paper doll.
Okay.
What's in here? Hey, bro, I need that flashlight real quick. Wait, I don't... Yeah, hold on. Yeah, shut up, bro. No, I don't have
Yeah,
the flashlight.
Grandpa.
Hi, Grandpooples. People's nasty gum.
Hey, Peepums. Peepums, nasty gum.
Okay. Oh, I did that perfect first time.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Just, you know. Pick all this up. Put that? Yeah, there. Glue that shit together. I got another Chivo!
It's crazy. This Adrian's parents look like a lesbian couple when they were younger.
They do! Go to Grandpa. Offer mother doll.
Mother doll? Maybe you have to feed Grandpa.
It says we need to feed him meat.
We have to feed him meat?
We have to feed him meat.
Okay, we're feeding Grandpa meat then. He's excited. Grandpa's excited about giving meat.
Proboscis.
I love talking about my dad, my grandpa's proboscis with him.
Can I communicate? Hi, Grandpa.
Very.
Well-projected voice. Ah, you're asking about your wish. When you wished for me to come back, that's when I knew I would. Your desperation was strong, and your wish for your parents, well, if you give me what I want, I'll give you what you want. You know I love you. I am for you, whatever you want, and I love you just as much as you love me. But desperation and love is not enough. People deep down know they can't get what they wish without some transformation. There is something that sits at the root of everyone's soul that understands the separation between them and eternity. You may desire something, but you know you will not get it without some movement on your part. So it is not enough to just wish, which you know will not work. You must also wish and a little more to transform your intention into something that might fructify, or for desire to become reality. I can't read that word.
Fructify, bro. My grandpa's saying crazy words.
Ah, you're asking me about my shell. Oh, well, you see, I like to have something to grow in, something shaped like a person. It just helps to have something surrounding me when I don't have skin. My whiskers do the growing. My whiskers, yes, you know, the little hairy things. I'm a part of it, and it is a part of me. However, my whiskers are what heard you wishing for me to come back, and so they were went to work in the shell you provided. The shell also helps you envision me as what you desire. You have such a nice imagination. If I weren't in my shell, you'd have my whiskers exposed and knitting together my face. That might interrupt the feedback loop of my reading your desires, and then acting upon the desires I have read, and then once again reading your reaction. We wouldn't want that interfered with. The material of the doll you put down is a good fit. It's not the most comfortable, but it's quite flexible, and thankfully my shell was able to adjust nicely to my growth. You're asking about the medical waste bin. I believe it's locked up. Heard them punch in the code many times as they placed part of the burnt-up dying self into the bin. They often forgot what the code was and had to go check on the wall where they were always taping up sheets upon sheets of information. So much so that the new papers would cover the old. What do you think you would find in there? Well, perhaps something. They did throw the trash inside from time to time. Bits of paper and so forth. I remember seeing a man who looked quite like me. His daughter had given him a photo of her new boyfriend. He threw it in the bin in disgust and joked with one of his colleagues. It may still be in there for all I know. You're asking about language. Well, the more you taught me, the more I was able to learn myself by hearing what you were thinking and saying. A week ago, I could speak a little bit, but I was less of what you imagined me to be, and not quite the talker I am at the moment. Part of what I am saying is, of course, made up of what you expect me to say. I think I'm very comfortable being open and honest with you because I am your grandpa, and I love you, and certainly that makes a part of what I am. However, there is a part of me deeper down, the thing that created me, baby, that undying nucleus. It is answering for me as well, and is unaffected by whoever might shape what I become with their thoughts. You're asking about my little friends. Well, yes, they come from me. They grow around me in pockets of flesh and protoplasm. Think of them like dreams, maybe. I'll explain. Have you ever had a dream that was sort of like a bunch of people, places, and events you experienced, all mixed up together and jumbled up, sorting through and disposing the refuse of the mind? My little friends are like that. Refuse, and in ridding myself of them, I am casting off the excess material I did not use in developing life forms. Anyone who comes close to me, well, they are my eyes, nose, and skin. Their thoughts become mine and shape what I make. However, when I was alone for so long, I didn't have a lot of people near me. What are you thinking and expecting of me is shaping what I'm saying, how I'm saying it. Do you understand? I gotta drink more water. And so, because I did not have enough input from my surroundings in order to put the material to use, the material falls off my body, crawls away, and usually dies. I'm able to make the most of my material when someone is looking right at me, projecting who I will be, like you are now. What you are thinking and expecting of me is shaping what. Yeah, okay. Hey, Grandpa! What's up with your proboscis? Oh, you're asking me about my proboscis. It's just a little tube I keep to help me feed on blood. You could say it's my real mouth, but it's not really a mouth. It appeared because you fed me flesh. One of those friends you found, I think. You feeding me flesh was a symbol, a proposition, if you will, that you wanted to hold up your end of the bargain with regards to your wish. If someone is willing to hold up their end of the bargain and let me feed on them with my proboscis, and then they can move on to the next step of the agreement, providing me symbolic instructions. Oh, I hope that clears things up. Do you have another question? Do I like the blood? Blood. My whiskers, I believe they like the blood and the flesh. It's strange, they are me and yet they are now me. I am bound to them, and they control me, and technically, yes, they did make me, however, you are the one who really grew me. In some ways, those whiskers, they are me, or a part of myself, or I'm a part of it. That part is much more animal-like. Whatever might happen, know that I will always love you, and because it controls me, I might not be able to act like how I would like, even if I do love you.
Oh, Grandpa.
Offer Mother Doll.
I feed ya. Maybe you have to feed it twice, because you have 2 wishes. Two. Very soon.
Oops, I think I did it too late. We're all trying to do this in one thing. Ugh, and I want to stop streaming.
So, Grandpa gameplay next time too.
Maybe, we'll see. I'll figure out how to do it. Like, I'll start another run of the game and I'll end it right before we get to like this part.
You'll be an expert Grandpa player.
I'll be an expert Grandpa player.
He'll be an Xbox.
I don't want to turn into an Xbox.
On the PS5.
What?
Like that meme, remember? Like the guy. I don't know. I haven't listened to the actual music in a while. It's like, it's me, boy, the PS5.
We're rating Jay. He's playing Halo.
That's like the game with MasterChef in it.
Yeah, MasterChef.
And
behave. We probably won't be playing this next time because this was a lot of talking.
That's true.
I'll see y'all.
Top 10 Grandpa plays.
Later. Goodbye.